Welcome to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann, a podcast that explores protection, healing, and personal empowerment through meaningful conversations and real life stories. If you're sensitive, intuitive, or seeking clarity in this busy world, you've come to the right place. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Hope. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I have some of my amazing teammates with me, and we all do a lot of different versions of creating a sacred space. What we would like to do today is to share some stories or some reasons why we feel setting sacred space is important. What is the importance of creating sacred space? So, who would like to go first? Oh, go, Leslie. I'm going to spotlight you for a second. So, tell us, what's the importance of setting sacred space to you?
The importance, of course, personally, is making sure we are metaphysically safe in our own homes. And of course, we can take it with us wherever we go. And speaking of that, I am back at school. And before I enter the school, it's in a lovely spot in downtown that's surrounded by an acre of wonderful gardens. We're learning about medicinal plants. It occurred to me to say, even though I could do it in the classroom, I thought, no, I'll do it quietly by myself before I building, holding the intention for all, because we all have a love for nature and the earth and so forth. And if you're in some place like that, you have spiritual challenge in some way. So for the collective and for the good, highest good of all, I set sacred space for the room because it can get busy. And you can get kind of frenetic with other information's coming. There have been some contentious, interesting issues about, no, it should be done this way. No, it should be done that way. The sacred space sort of softens the edges of that in people and makes everyone receptive to the information as it is presented with no preconceived notions, no attachments to outcomes, none of that. All of that's removed with sacred space. It is what it is. And so with that wonderful sort of encompassing feeling of knowing that I personally am safe, and I ask for it for everyone, so that the information given to us is received as it should be for each of us as necessary. So that it keeps the equilibrium of the classroom steady and gentle and when you're rushing around trying to put your herbs together to go to your tincture or your tisane and all that stuff, it can get a little sporty, but everyone is kind. Everyone is so kind and so giving and so accommodating in sacred space. And this is people that don't even know, but you will at some point down the road as we continue in class together. But I think it just sort of continues that love and goodwill that the archangels are there, our spirit guides are there, our guardian angels are all there, and they're watching what's going on. They're having a good time too. So knowing that sacred space sort of brings it all together for us, just makes it a wonderful, loving experience. Well, I really appreciate sacred space. Take it with me wherever I go.
Thank you, Leslie. And you're right, it softens things. I know I was working with Sacred Space yesterday and I had to run to the store in advance of the storm coming. And it was very interesting and it was a very busy store. I just had to get, my husband was going to be roasting nuts. So I had to get a couple of things for him to roast nuts. I kept bumping into people and they would smile and go, "Oh, go ahead. Oh, it's okay." It was so interesting how all these people were, even in the parking lot, you go first. There was just this energy of, whatever, it's just a storm. What's a few more feet of inches or whatever? But it just, when we set sacred space for ourselves, we appear in the world with a different level of energy. And I find that when we interact with other people, as you're saying, Leslie, the interaction is pleasant or those that are annoyed by our energy tend to gravitate away from us. It's like a magnetic. Those that resonate are drawn onto, and those that polarize are they're just not in our circle. Have you guys experienced that?
I'm going to say something kind of crazy.
Oh, go for it. I'm going to spotlight you. You say all as much crazy as you want.
So, you remember in the Old Testament, in the book of Leviticus, the high priest would go through the whole outside of the tent in the Holy of Holies, all this before they could enter into the Holy of Holies and dwell with God and commune with Him. Well, the crazy thing I'm about to say is I think that's what we're doing when we set sacred space. And that's the reason, like you were saying, Leslie, and you were saying, Lois, that everything flows so smoothly is because we've made way for the Holy Spirit and we have demanded with our authority that we have in Him to not interact with beings that are of low vibration and mean to harm us. And so that's why they scurry. And that's why the things that are good for us are drawn to us. And that's why we're able to commune with God so clearly. It's absolutely incredible.
It really is. Trisha, you are one that knows the Bible, these stories, the way that you share, which is wonderful. So many people are not aware of the parallels. So thank you for sharing. Do you have any other stories or other reason that you would say that the sacred space, you've done some wonderful sacred space exercises as well. And what's the importance of doing it?
I am under attack constantly because of who I am and my mission here on earth. So when I set sacred space, I can immediately feel through my energetic field and see if there are any attacks, address them if there are, ask for help if I need assistance in clearing them. And it's very important because the one thing that the dark wants to do is separate us from our connection with our creator because that's where our power is. So that's the first thing they try to do is disconnect us from that. And we can stop them in their tracks by setting sacred space and feeling through our energy field.
Anyone have anything to add about that? I love that you said, we're under attack. Everyone is under attack, whether they know it or not. The difference is Trisha and others of us are very aware of our energy. We're very aware when something is off in our energy. So we're more tuned into the energy drain, the energy vampires, the draining, the attacks. And the brighter we shine, the more they are drawn to us. And as Tricia said, their first order of business is to keep us from connecting with our divine. And their goal isn't to completely take us out. It's to cause us disturbance, cause us dis-ease, cause us distress, because that lowers the vibrational frequency to a level of fear, anger, sadness, pain. And then they can draw on those low level. When we set sacred space, we get to stay in that high vibe energy and it feels good. And it's sort of that high vibe energy pushes their buttons. They like it. And so it's a way of staying in our own sacred sanctuary where we are protected by our divine guides. Beautifully said, Tricia.
Thank you.
Melanie, I know you've got tons to offer, so I'm going to spotlight you. And what would you like to say about the importance of setting sacred space?
So sacred space, you want to protect because we are all aware in our group of our own energy, when we set sacred space, we also set an intention. So what kind of intention do you want to set that day or that moment? In this case, it's protection. You want healing and empowerment, not just for your present moment, but for every aspect of your entire biofield yourself, level, dimension, density, and location. And the reason why I say that is because every person has their own biofield and every being has possibly other things that would influence their biofield. Now, for us, because of where we are aware of our own biofield, we don't want to be manipulated. We want to stay in a state of love, high connection to divine. I mean, basically, our oneness with divine. We want to amplify the energy that we want to create for our experience of a new earth and bring forth everything that is positive for all of humanity, actually every being. Seriously. Even if we're presented with something not so aligned with our energy, we consider, okay, well, how can we help? We're not here to like challenge the system. We're here to maintain and actually even increase the aspect of our energy to manifest love, manifest joy, manifest peace. And I'll just give you an example. I just recently moved within the last year to another section of the state I live in. And in considering the job that I have, I'm in service to others because it's just part of who I am. This service to others, you are basically introduced the entire city because I'm in a city where basically it's just the city with 350,000 people. So the place that I work at is huge. So the first time I introduced myself to this position, I walked in and felt different energy. Now I'm checking out the place, not just because I'm going to work there, but I'm checking out my own feeling. How's my biofield feeling towards my own job? What do I want to maintain or create? An atmosphere which I can bring in love, joy. I want to enjoy what I do every day. I want to be happy with what I do every day. When I went into work, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of not so happy people here. And I'm dispositionally happy because I have done the work. I maintain my joy. I maintain protection. I maintain my healing. I maintain my empowerment. I'm empowered to create what I desire, not just for myself, but the joy and the love for everyone around me. Having said that, when I noticed all the different energies, because there were positive ones too as well, I wanted to experience this for me. So when I thought about it, I said, how can I create, how can I bring in this high vibrational frequency for my own enjoyment and then spread it out? Well, I had to clear my company, the company that I walk in every day. So when I clear it, I set the intention with it for perpetuity, meaning it's going to remain that way as long as I'm working there or till I no longer need it. So I'll set the intention in the morning. I'll wrap up that building. And you can imagine I'm really detailed. So I literally imagine I'm walking through that building and giving it and clearing it and making, and I mean clearing, I could sense the energy. I sense the frequency. I pay attention to the vibration, pay attention to every being that's in front of me, every around me. And if it's disturbing my own biofield, and then I ask, okay, is this something I can work with and help? Or is this something that just needs to not be near me? Or even sometimes, let's wrap it up and let's move it forward. It should not be here. It's not positive for humanity. So, and that's what I do. I actually really enjoy my job as a service person. And I do get from time to time energies that come in that are not warranted, that are on the defensive or offensive or however you say that in sports. But then I could just say, okay, wait a minute, let's see what's going on. It just makes me more aware to be a help. I mean, I question energy around me and say, why are you presenting yourself to me this way? We're trying to create a loving atmosphere. We're bringing back everything that is wonderful for humanity, connection. I'm questioning this being, this energy in front of me. And if it's still persistent on being the way it is, I'm just like, okay, let me get some help here. I'm going to wrap you up, put you in light, and send you off. Cut your source of whatever you're trying to do to the person who you're attached to, but because it's affecting me. Now, bear in mind, I don't usually bother a being if it's not going to make me aware of my own biofield. But if it's going to affect me, guess what? That's why I came, because it knew that I can help them. So that's why I said sacred space, because it does protect. It does keep you in the aspect of healing, keeps you in the empowerment of who you are and are so much aware of your present moment so that you're always ready to assist. And, that's really our goal for this group is that we want to assist humanity and get us to the place where we need to be, which is before all this mess came.
On earth as it is in heaven.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's wonderful, Melanie. Absolutely. So you're using it in an organization. And I know for myself, I started doing this for myself and my children to protect the energy. What I found, though, was for every client session, when I would set sacred space, and then I would, with intention, with a positive intention, how may I be of service to this individual? I was amazed at the things that came through as I'm asking questions or as I'm prompting the session or driving the session. All of a sudden, things would come out of my mouth. I'm thinking, where did that come from? And it's because by setting the sacred space, and as you all are saying, clearing away anything that is draining our energy, it shifts our vibrational frequency to a higher state that we can tap in to the divine. So there is a two-way. So many people say, well, I pray and I send out. So prayer is a one-way street. But what we are doing when we set sacred space and we set the intention of being in service, it becomes a two-way street. Then we start receiving the messages that they're wanting to send, they're intending to send to us. When our space is sacred, we become the receivers of the information. So we become the conduit. So communication should be two ways, right? So when we are in that vibrational frequency, a higher vibrational frequency, and we can tune in, tap in to the vibrational frequency of our guides that give us the insight and that smooth the path, that protect us, also help to facilitate healing and empowerment. So it's magical when we set sacred space, shift happens. It does. Yeah. Yeah. So we all do it. I do it in the morning before I get up, and I don't do anything fancy. It's just before I even open my eyes, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I intend that the day be filled with magic and miracles and give me guidance so that I may be of service to those who are open. And there's a difference because there are takers and there are givers in this world. And many of us on this spiritual path tend to be the givers. We just want to help everybody. And then there are takers that just want to steal energy. And the guides have said, no, 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 no. It is not, you cannot give until you have nothing left to give. You must use protection of your energy and discernment as to who it is you are supposed to be of service to. And the goal is to be of service to people who are on a path of ascension. So we are healing facilitators. The healing comes through the person, from the person. We, by way of our teaching and the knowledge we have through our energy clearing and alignment sessions, we have the ability to help people to reach the next level themselves. That's our mission, is to help you, the light workers, to be able to tap in and receive your messages. Right?
Right.
It's fun to watch that happen, isn't it?
Yes.
Any last?
So you say your space doesn't have to be hard. It's all about your intent. Do what you love what you do. It's take your space.
And really feel more empowered by it. Come to know who you are.
More empowered and more at peace.
Yes.
It's an interesting place of, I no longer feel a need to have to prove myself. If somebody doesn't get me, that's on them. Because my intention is pure. My intention is to be, as Tricia said, to be love. If something we shared resonates with you, I invite you to stay connected. Follow the show, share it with someone who would benefit, and explore more at loishermann.com. Together we clear the storms and shine the light of hope. Until next time, look up, stay positive, and be the light in someone's day.